Start.
Here you go, Fallon. Educate yourself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the interwebs. This is When Do We Get to the Ride, which is apparently a clip from the Fairly Odd Parents. I am kcStranger, your GM. As always, the Crystal Tomb is brought to you by Export Broadcaster, by Tractor Blend. And tonight, by this is called Netherworld. It is a little brew by what's it called? Flying Monkey Brewery. So, anyways,
Is this a legit sponsorship?
no, I wish. I'm just gonna shout out as many people as possible until somebody gives me a quarter. All right, and I am joined by my sarcastic, fun-loving players, and we are in the basement of the home of Mayor Devin Wheelwright. So, to remind ourselves, things that have happened in the past, we started up here last time. The party was in the midst of a fight with some demons from this general area of the house. One of them, which they did manage, two of them ran away after being almost dead. One of them they did down, and it turned out to be the corpse of Mayor Devin Wheelwright. They got a few things off of his person. Mostly Aaron did. Fallon got a little bit of money. Aaron got a diamond. He found a curious scrap of paper that had some numbers written on it. What were the numbers? I can repost that just in case it's something important. Let me see. Where'd I put that? Yeah, there we go. So these were the numbers. Let me see here. So yeah, so after that, they explored a little bit more. They went down to this area here on the bottom right. There was another trap from the gnome dude, but they managed to figure out his puzzle. Even managed to figure out which of these potions, which should be hidden, I think, since you have now taken them. Which of them were greater healing potions, nabbed that for the future, and went downstairs. So once downstairs, the group found sort of a storeroom down here, found a very nice, very heavy, extremely expensive bottle of, entire barrel of scotch, and stuck that in the bag of holding. Not too much else in that room, though. Went over to this other room that terminated in a well. Again, this house, while not having plumbing or anything like that, having its own well is quite the convenience. They poked around at the well a lot. It glowed some strange colors. There seems to be something sort of odd about it, but nothing that they've tried so far, including sending Aaron down in there for a look, has seemed to reveal too much. And that is where we pick up now, with Colleen having frustratedly thrown a bucket into the well, which has so far refused to give up its secret.
Well. I think we actually got a hint off camera. Forgot it.
Hint off who?
I think you gave us a hint at the end of the session.
Oh, what I said was just that, I think I said you have found things that are relevant to what is going on with this well, but...
Oh yeah, we were going to throw the whole storeroom in the well.
But there also is more that you have not discovered that could help elsewhere in the house. That's all I said.
Throw the entire storeroom in the well. Got it.
That is an option.
Have we taken a rest yet?
You took a short rest.
Short rest? Okay. I was just curious. So this is a dead end, more or less. Unless you want to count the hole in the ground that doesn't do anything. So do we need to go back upstairs? Also, weren't we here to kill a lady?
Well, we all thought that it would be in the basement, did we not?
No lady in the well.
But it goes down to that they are, well, underground demons. I figured we'd be going underground. I guess that's change of plans.
I mean, we haven't checked for any more rooms, I suppose. But, or like trapdoors or anything. But I don't see any books, so. This is usually where Aaron would make a joke, but he's not here, so. So I guess we're gonna head up and see what we can do upstairs.
Okay.
Pretty good
You want to
with
go
this.
back to the first level?
See.
Teleport us
We
to the
start-
first level.
All
We
right.
start at the top. didn't
So you all resignedly head back to the first level, thinking maybe there's something that you missed.
Maybe there's a bunch of demons coming to kill us.
we? Well, I mean, I guess I can unblock this door.
Nonsense.
Okay. You want to start moving stuff away from the door that you barricaded?
I suppose.
All right. Yeah?
We could try this one first if we wanted.
But as they approach the door,
You want to try this door instead?
Yeah, let's try that one.
Okay. You wander over to that door. You turn the handle. It opens without difficulty. Allow me to pull up my description
Initiative tracker.
real quick.
pull up the blueprint of the breakfast nook.
Blueprint of the breakfast nook. Do not have a blueprint of a breakfast nook, unfortunately. Although on
But-
one of my other games, I actually downloaded a bunch of rooms from like pictures of a bunch of rooms from the actual house of Freddie
Yep.
Prinze Jr. and what's her name? Buffy. Why can't I remember her name?
Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like their house, I needed just like a celebrity house, and I poked around online, and there were complete blueprints of their floor plan on the internet. So I used that, like in pictures of a lot of the rooms. Anyways, so you open the door on a pleasant sitting room.
That story was telling.
Very stalkerish. I approve.
There is a game table to one side, and couches and chairs surround a cozy-looking fireplace with a golden music box set on the mantle, and also whirling blades of death surround the room.
Oh, good.
Clearly, a mirage was put on the breakfast nook.
So, zombie?
Are the blades doing anything?
They're
Are-
whirling. They look very painful.
Ah,
Are they all connected? Or is
No.
it like individual? So they're all just sitting in place spinning.
As a matter of fact, everybody give me an Arcana check.
Ah, crap.
Nailed it.
Same.
For the money.
Okay, Colleen, you know what?
Wait
Let Gamork make the
For
check.
it. I was about to say, wait for it.
Every time. Anytime there's an Arcana check, I roll
Okay.
a
It's
2.
like a double crit. I mean, let's be honest. That's 220.
No, all right. Fallon, I'm gonna let you decide how this works in RP terms, but I don't know how he recognizes, but Gamork recognizes that this is essentially a blade barrier spell. So this is a I mean, Gamork is not exactly a spellcaster, but this is a fairly high-level spell that does exactly this, creates a wall of whirling blades they do deal some pretty hefty damage if you try to walk through it. Gmork knows this. Let's see if Gmork can communicate this to the rest of the group.
Whatever, man. Gmork casts Beg all the time, and that DC is like 35.
Can he gain sentience for like half a second? His
No.
eyes turn white, and
Well,
he's like,
I mean, he's sentient,
seriously.
but,
Well, you know-
but he can't like speak in normal sentences.
Right,
'Cause he's
right.
a wolf.
He sends you a picture of a weird dude in a robe being like, blades!
He kind of sniffs it and makes the sound he does whenever he thinks something's magic he doesn't like. How about that?
Okay.
Here's his magic I don't want to touch whimper. I mean, we
Okay.
can see the blades, right?
Yeah, you
So
can
it
see
really-
the blades.
All
It's
he's
just-
really telling us is that it's from a spell and it's not like some mechanical.
I mean, the
Right.
most important thing that we've learned here is Gmork has a I need an adult whimper, which is fantastic.
Yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
Well, this seems not great. Did this door open in or out?
The door actually, yeah, so the door is no
It's
longer
a
there.
sliding door.
All of these doors have actually been opening in, and when you opened the door, it actually got chopped into bits by the whirling blades of death. Luckily, because of the direction of the rotation, the wood splinters like kind of went away from you, but there's actually like just sort of half a door there right now.
So, like, if we just appeared in the room, would the blades chase us?
We could throw something into the room and see.
If I knew it was a blade berry, I would be able to tell you about it.
Gmork thinks it's magic.
I roll my eyes at you.
He seemed pretty sure.
I bet
Colleen, you
there's
kind of got
just-
the idea it was some sort of spell effect, but you weren't quite able to place it.
I
I
put
wonder
my
what
head
kind of
on
I
the
wonder what kind of
door.
magic would make these whirling
not the
blades
door.
appear.
I misty step into the middle of the room.
Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Goodbye, Colleen.
Maybe.
Alright, so you are now in the room. Looking around. Actually, give me, I've been calling this history.
Okay. Let's not fuck up this time.
No whammies.
I rolled one better.
Okay.
Correct.
So looking around at the stuff in the room, at least the stuff that's like immediately visible, I mean, it's pretty nice. There's a nice game table, nice chair, sofa. Nothing immediately stands out to you as like super special awesome, except for that music box on the mantle. Not quite sure what it's worth, but it seems pretty nice.
Alright, little gnome. Where are you?
Colleen, are you dead?
No answer from the room.
She's dead.
I guess I'll go over to the music box.
Okay.
She said is over here by this chessboard
It's
on the mantle.
this thing right here.
Alright. I will inspect it.
Okay, you look at it more closely. Do you open it up?
I'm gonna give it a nice hard look first.
Okay, give me investigation. Okay, yeah, nothing seems off about it. It's got, sort of some, like, horses and riders carved in very fine detail, around the top. You know, just a simple hinge on the back. There's like a clasp that closes it, but you can easily flip that open if you want. It does appear to be made of gold.
I guess I'll open it, but I don't want to take it off the mantle.
Okay. You open it up and it begins to play. A fairly simple tune, but nice as far as music boxes go. You can see the mechanism. There's sort of a clear case over it. Some rather intricate like gear work on the inside. You wait. Nothing particularly dramatic happens.
Guys, why would there be a room full of blades with nothing in it? I don't. What am I missing here?
Do we hear any of that?
Yeah, sure.
Over the whirl.
Yeah, it's background, but so long as she means for you to hear her, it's nothing too bad.
Is there anything else in the room?
What do my elf eyes see?
Give me one last perception check, and I'll allow advantage if you want to like inspect really carefully.
I do have advantage on perception
Oh, yeah,
site-based
that's
check,
true.
but it doesn't matter because I am great.
And, I'll give you +2 for inspecting carefully. So yeah, so that's actually a 16. Let's call it a 16. So you wander around the rest of the room. Let me think here real quick. Yeah, looking at things, you look under the sofas, you look at the chairs, you look under the rug. You're not noticing anything like weird. It just seems like a nice sitting room.
I guess I'm gonna sit down over here at this chess board.
Okay. You sit down. Nothing happens.
Flip the table.
I think I'm losing my mind. What's the secret?
Okay. Just so that you don't actually go insane, I'm going to let you know something, which is that in part, I modified a lot of the results, but I did use the random dungeon generator to make this place, so not every room has a secret.
That's a lie. And
Sometimes
you know
rooms are just have obstacles.
just rooms filled with blades for no reason.
There also may or may not have been something that might have happened if things had gone differently, but anyways.
But you mean my natural one didn't cinch this for us?
Well,
Damn
that
it.
was just to understand what's happening.
Oh, okay.
I mean, all that's going on here is that you think that these blades are actually like held up by tiny gnomes who are spinning them very fast, and the gnomes are invisible, so you can't see.
You know what? I was assuming that they were like connected to the frickin' wall by some ninja mechanics, but you know what? I like the gnome thing better. That is canon.
All right.
What did we? What was there anything interesting besides like the well that we found here?
I found a room of meat and beer. That was pretty sweet. I'll be honest.
Did I put on my pink heart pendant yet, or did I put it on Gamork?
You put it on Gamork.
That's right. That lavish bastard. We've gone everywhere, right?
There's the storeroom behind the stuff over here.
There's a storeroom there?
There's
Boss.
something
Yeah,
here that
this
you
is a
can't see.
room.
I mean, this is a door.
Barricaded door. I'll pick up the fucking room. Fine.
All right.
Thanks, Mom.
I'll start moving stuff around while the rest of you decide what to do.
Blame the random dungeon generator.
Question.
RDT.
Yep.
I play a barbarian for a very specific reason.
Can I hamster ball myself
Sure.
to leave this room?
Wait, can you what?
Can I hamster ball myself to leave this room?
That is an interesting question. So I'm going to say give me an Arcana check for figuring out the interaction between these spells.
I'm figuring out all kinds of weird stuff. Like I was thinking about using slow to slow the blades.
Go. Do you want to? Go.
I mean, that seems like it would
Uh,
work. It's gnome spinning blades.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough room between the blades that would probably protect you, and you could sort of roll your way out. You might have to deal with some odd physics, but yeah, you could do that.
You're just
I mean, you could just
gonna be a
Misty Step
pinball.
again, but
No, I can't because I didn't prepare that spell, and I just get to use it once per day as a high elf.
oh really?
Yeah.
You can do second level spells with that.
It's isn't it a Fey teleportation?
Yeah, Fey teleportation.
Oh
Yeah, it's
shit!
a racial trait.
Forgot completely that was a thing.
Why don't you throw the zombies in there, and while the machine's grinding them up, you sneak by.
How
Wait,
dare you?
That's
sir.
not a thing. How do you have that?
That's a thing.
No,
It's a high elf trait.
No, it's not.
Feat high elf, prerequisite high elf. Draw on your Fey ancestry. You've learned how to teleport. Gain the following benefits: increase your intelligence by 1.
In 5th
You learn
edition?
Misty Step.
Yeah. It's in Xanathar's.
It's in Xanathar's.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even read or. Wait a
It's
minute.
for people that don't want to just be an Eladrin anymore. Well, I guess Eladrin came out afterwards, but that's not the point.
Okay, wait a minute. I just, I must acquaint myself with this. Oh, is it a feat?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize you took a feat.
yeah. I took the high elf feat.
Got it. Okay, that's fine. All right.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
hamster ball should work.
Let's hamster ball my way out of here.
Okay.
Ping pong, please. Roll for
All right.
ping pong.
So you're leaving the room as it is.
I guess so. Oh, actually, I want this music box.
You're gonna take it.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. You
Demons swarm you.
you pick up the
The
It's
real
possible.
trap
music
starts here.
box. Let me think. You know what? Just because this would make my life easier, I'm gonna let you repeat that history check. You get one more shot now that you've inspected this thing thoroughly.
Well, doesn't that just sound inconspicuous?
Okay. It's just because it's worth a certain amount, and it makes my life easier if I'm allowed to tell you. So if you'd failed it again, I would have withheld that knowledge. But it's music box is worth 2,500 gold.
Oh,
Holy shit.
So just record music box worth 2,500 GP. I mean, now, like I said, now that you've inspected it thoroughly and that's assuming it's made out of solid gold, but yeah. All
is
right,
this why it would have been interesting if Kane wasn't playing Kane?
Yeah. That wasn't what I was thinking. I was just thinking that he hadn't been in his house at all. But all right. So now you're gonna go to hamster ball your way out. This is gonna be interesting. Give me a dexterity saving throw, or no, give me acrobatics as you go to roll your way out of the room.
Neat.
Oh, snap. All right. So you line it up, and you go in. You slightly misangle and mistime your attempt, and one of the blades comes around and smacks you with some pretty serious force. You go rolling backwards.
Oh
You
my
hit
God,
into
this is
one of
the
the
best.
chairs, and you continue all the way back to the couch. You start ping-ponging around the room a little bit. Furniture is getting destroyed. Allow me to, I'm just going to mark the furniture that has been rest in peace'd by this. So this chair is no more. This chair is no more.
This could not have gone any better.
This couch is no more. You have, by the time you finally get control, you have used up about 15 seconds of your spell. You can give me another attempt to get through.
Call me Wrecking Ball.
You all are hearing some slightly concerning sounds
Commotion.
from the other room.
I
Yeah.
was say she might be in a fight, but I was also
They-
just like moving a bunch of stuff around in this room, so I'm assuming I'm not over there to
You
hear it.
want another acrobatics this time?
Yeah.
You said dex save. Sure.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, look at that. The same.
but-
Let's go again.
Yeah, so
Right.
so you line it up, you try again, you miss time again. This time you get flung initially down and then back towards the game table. The game table gets chewed up by the blades as well. You burn another 10 seconds before you can get control of yourself. You got 35 seconds left of the spell.
Let's go again, because I have limited options. Better.
All right.
The fireplace is looking toasty.
You
Uh,
get
Yep,
stuck
you line it
in the
again. Line it up
blades.
again. This time you get fired just straight backwards. You plow into the couch. The couch sort of goes upright, flips into the blades, and gets chewed up. Guys, it sounds like Kalina has constructed a sawmill back here. And this time you get flung around some more. You
gonna break
lose
the blade.
another 15 seconds. You've got 20 seconds left of your spell. Go ahead and try one more time.
Hey.
All right, this time, finally, you realize that you should go with the direction of rotation. You line up your attempt very carefully and slip through at just the right moment. Fallon and Gmorchi almost plows into you, but you pull up just short. Looking into the room, you see large wood chips and bits of like furniture stuffing and stuff like that just strewn across the room now.
I understand. I would have taken it out on some furniture too. Those monsters got away from us.
I go throw up rainbows in the sink.
Maxis, I imagine you're opening the door up here.
See.
All right. There is that room, so it opens. You see, you're pleasantly surprised when nothing jumps out at you as you open the door to a small pantry. The shelves have clearly been disturbed. There's a broken jar of jam and a jar of pickles that are spilled on the floor, but most of it seems intact. You can give me an investigation check if you want to look through the items on the shelf. Okay.
Oh, so close.
It's mostly food. However, your eyes do alight on something. It's stuffed in between a bunch of preserves, but you realize that it is not the same consistency. And actually, on closer inspection, this is a potion of supreme healing.
The hell?
So, 0.2 pounds, potion of supreme healing. You may add that to your inventory. Restores what? 84 plus 8, I believe.
Holy hell.
Look with your special eyes.
My brand. I know that.
Incidentally,
I come out eating a pickle, holding up the potion, be like, so I found a potion. This one's like pretty good. So does somebody want one of my greater healing potions that I still have? Because I have 2. And now I have this. And I feel like it just, unless someone's like gonna give me a sensu bean, I'm pretty stacked here.
I think I still have 2.
Fallon, can the dog carry a thing?
I don't think so.
What if we just like get him like a little thing
A little
that he
holster.
holds around his neck and he just like licks it if he needs it?
That's not a bad idea. I don't think.
Workshop that.
I don't think he's been able to carry anything besides like equipment and fancy necklaces before. So
yeah, he doesn't have a pack of infinite storage, but
We're gonna
We need to
theoretically be worked
an
out.
alchemy.
We just need to hang like one of those little shower baskets that the people in dorm rooms have around his neck with his snacks and
you
stuff.
could get some saddlebags. I already have. I have 2 myself.
All right. Well,
Potions,
I guess
so.
I'll just keep all this stuff in. I mean, if someone goes down, I guess I'll
Oh.
give him a potion.
If Kane dies, you can just like smash it on the ground next to him.
I mean, okay. Is this a
Mild,
gin thing?
mild suggestion.
You just So this house is dumb.
By the way, did anyone else want to look inside the pantry, or just leaving it to Maxis?
I'm
There are
Okay,
still
no
I'll
more
look.
pickles.
Since you
in
say
this
that, I'll
pantry.
look.
Okay, I mean, because anyone who wants to can make the investigation check. I wanted to make sure that.
Did you just palm a fistful of pickles into your mouth? Your
No,
giant
I have the
ogre mouth?
jar. I'm not a savage.
Move
I
aside,
took
friend.
the
Go
whole
ahead.
thing.
You said investigation?
Yeah.
My -2.
Yep. Hey, you look in sort of the same area where Maxis was looking, and you realize he missed one. You also get a potion of supreme healing.
And I will offer mine to no one.
Colleen, I'm feeding your zombie a pickle.
I don't know how they
And by feeding, I mean I offered him a pickle, and he's not doing anything with it.
Hashtag
Just-
innuendo. It's lonely from the adventurous path.
I pay no mind as I continue to throw up rainbows.
All right.
You know, that's not a sink. That's a stove.
That would be
Yeah,
a...
well, you know, there's a pot or something.
So as you're all standing around trying to figure out what to do, I'll let anyone who wants to make a intelligence check to see if any bright ideas occur to you.
we're that bad, huh? Well, I guess I'm playing it right since
Come to this point.
I did an
You
intelligence,
intelligence check.
My bad.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
I'll fix that in a second.
Nailed it.
I was letting Gamork do his.
Let's not fight anything tonight.
You know
guys.
what?
I'll die.
Sure. I'm gonna give this to Gamork.
No.
Fallon, I'm gonna let you.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you
Dog is a-
RP this.
Okay.
Gamork thinks that upstairs might be a good idea.
The dog is our savior.
Yeah, that's like, you know, he's moved on from just saving her ass in fights to which was this upstairs right
Yeah, these.
here?
Yep.
Okay, well. He just starts kind of wandering off. And I follow after him. I'm like, get back here, you bastard.
Okay. Are the rest of you hanging out, or are you just letting Fallon chase his dog?
Scooby's gone.
Colleen said follow dog,
All
right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm,
Alright.
I'm
Follow the
trailing
Doge.
along.
Fallon, as you step up to the next level, and actually let me put you in front as you properly would be. You come around this little corner, and you see something that you did not expect. On this far bench here, or actually no, on this one down here. Honestly, dwarfing the bench that is being sat on. Not sure how it's not breaking, actually. You see a familiar figure. A massive scaled creature. Wreathed in shadowy flame. Its head a skull-like mask.
Bill!
It has a flower, actually, from the plant in the back corner. Mostly, the plant's kind of dead-looking. The flower's kind of dead-looking as well, but it's sort of twirling it. Makes it kind of look tiny based on the size of his hand. He sort of lolls his head towards you and gives what must be his version of a smile. And he's like, "Hello, old friend."
Are we seeing this terrifying nightmare fuel, or just
As you come around the corner, yes, you do.
Good. What the?
Okay.
Hello, Bill.
So Fallon turns around. Oh shit, you can see him too.
He says, "I'm just here to have a word with Fallon. It will only take a moment."
Fallon goes, I'll explain later.
He sort of lazily takes his left arm and sort of slashes at the air next to him, and sort of a fiery red gash appears in the air. And then a moment later, it sort of widens, almost sort of in the shape of like a sideways eye. and or like a cat slit pupil. And he looks over at you,
Feels free not to.
Fallon, and he says, and he gestures and says, "Age before beauty."
Aren't you like really old?
Details. He stands up and walks into it. Doesn't disappear immediately. You can see him through the near part of it, although things sort of fade beyond him a little bit. He's like following.
I look back at everybody as like, don't start any more fights. I'll be right back. I hop.
Make sure you
through the-
actually come back. Had a lot of that lately.
right. As far as I know, unless Casey's kicking me from the game, this isn't a goodbye moment.
You've been jettisoned for dog carry.
Yeah, this kind of weird shit is what tends to happen when people are about to leave, but not in this case. So the little iris thing closes. Colleen and Maxis, the two of you and Aaronin are left sort of standing looking at each other.
Well,
Be honest. How would I look with a skull face? I'm assuming we're talking nonsense while this is going on.
Yeah.
Because like
All right.
we're not actually probably gonna get anything useful out of this until he gets back.
No, you're not. I was just giving you a chance for one-liners if you wanted it. All right, we're gonna jump over to Fallon. Fallon,
quickly.
so you're walking down a long hallway. It's actually like somewhat tastefully appointed. There's burgundy carpet. The walls are gold and black. There are paintings on the walls. The paintings are kind of horrifying. Think like Goya kind of stuff. But it's with sort of a like just imagine that you're treating these horrific subjects, but they're being presented as if they're nice sunshiny things like puppies and kittens and playing in meadows and stuff like that. Just like it somehow looks happy and frolicking, even though you're seeing like people tortured and body parts and stuff like that. But he sort of pays no mind and just walks along in front of you. He looks back and says, you haven't made a whole lot of use of that trick shot I taught you. Wants to finish off a nearly dead enemy and wants to run away. If that enemy hadn't been your mother, and if downing Kane with the same shot hadn't been so funny, I'd be inclined to be hurt.
Well, I'm opportunistic. Look.
Right. Nevertheless, you've proven you have the hang of it. So I feel like it's time to teach you a few new tricks. Can't have my favorite prospect falling behind the curve, after all.
There are others.
He reaches a door at the end of the hallway, rather large door, and turns around and gives you another one of those creepy smiles and says, "There are always others." He opens the door again and steps through. It appears to be actually another sitting room, much like the one that Colleen just messed up, except the furniture is giant. It's all like blood red, black, and gold. There are steaming cups of something sitting on a coffee table that's large enough to be even a little bit larger than a comfortable kitchen table next to a couple giant sofas. He reaches down and picks up a rather large mug and says, "Chocolate."
I'll take it from him and say thank you.
Okay. Do you drink it?
Oh, sure.
Okay. It actually tastes rather good. It's like spiced chocolate. But as you drink it, you start to get this sort of hazy, wobbling feeling like you would normally associate with your gnome salts.
I'll say, oh, come on. I'll just say, oh, come on.
He says, Don't worry about it. It's nothing bad. I just need your mind in a certain state to make this work. And it really does taste quite good, actually. So a moment later, you wind up.
I say, so it's poison, and I take another sip.
He smiles and says, exactly.
I'm
Um,
having deja vu right now. This happens a lot.
And he says, now, there's just one thing you need to get into your head in order to make this work. He looks at you and says, you're a snake.
I think, God damn it. I don't want to be a snake.
As you say that, though, something sort of presses through from deep inside of you. That element of your nature that you got from your mother that's been, you now realize, repressed for most of your life. And it almost comes to you as a tangible presence, a great serpent wrapped in shadow and flame, and you realize that you can tap into that power. And I am going to send you a message on Discord. Here is the new ability that you have.
Okay, so... Oh, okay.
All right. So you continue to sort of fall into this reverie, drug-induced reverie, if you will. And that's when Imra turns to Gmork. He says, all right, doggo. Fallon's going to need a moment to recover from that, so... And he sighs and says, you know what? Here. Imra waves his hand, and Gmork winces in pain as a dull red glow spreads through him from the inside out. Fallon, you're only semi-conscious of this, but you notice that Gmork's eyes seem to smolder, and his shadow flickers through strange forms in the light from the nearby fire. And then you realize these forms aren't unfamiliar. They're just not Gmork's. And I will give you Gmork's new ability.
Double Christmas.
Oh, and that reminds me, I need to make some sheets visible to you. So let me do that quickly while you're reading that. So there's a bunch of like stats and abilities that have to be set up for this, but I already did that a little while ago. So you can just use the character sheets that I'm unhiding.
How do the levels work in each of these situations?
So on the first one, you can either the ability lasts longer. So I'll just tell you right now. The abilities are first level. I'll tell you when you level up.
Okay.
And then you get the bonuses as described there. Like longer duration is one thing, and like on the first one, you can overlap the effects. So
Cool.
And you should be able to see the extra character sheets for Gmork now.
Yep.
Okay. Imra looks down, sees you sort of still zoning out, Fallon. He sighs a little bit. He goes behind his desk and comes back with a saucer and a mug of coffee. and he sets them down by you and says, "Here, drink this. It'll make you feel better."
Refill. Refill.
He says, actually, let me think. He says, "Better leave a nice tip."
I pick up the coffee, start drinking it, and I say, well, what's in that chocolate?
Oh, just a little something that I brewed up from, well, let's just say the bones of some unfortunate souls. But,
What sort of souls and in what quantities? I'm just curious.
I'm making this up as we speak. Give me a moment.
Yeah, Fallon's basically wants the recipe.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, let me think about this real quick. What would be a decent... What's like a picture that can hypnotize things? I should have this more off the top of my head, but I don't. You know what? I'm just going to go with that. It's... Oh, actually, there we go. That'll work. He says, "Oh, you know, a night hag or two will do it."
Night hag bones and chocolate.
Yeah. I mean, heavy on the chocolate, light on the night hag bones, but, you know, gotta make it tasty.
What sort of milk am I tasting here?
Says, "Oh, just Aurochs. Pretty
Okay,
basic."
okay.
It's like... And
Cool.
you actually give me insight.
Working on it.
He wants to tell you more. He doesn't need much encouragement.
About the recipe? Or just in general?
You're not quite sure what, but he's on the edge of saying something significantly more.
So what's on your mind?
He looks at you and says, "Okay, actually, maybe you could help me out with this." He goes behind his desk and he pulls a rather large black leather-bound book and takes it down and puts it in front of you. It shows a large black cauldron with what seems to be a gnome, like flailing with his arms in the air as he gets dropped in. And at the top, it says, "Recipes from the pit." He's like, "I've been working on this cookbook for, well, more than a few years. How do you like the cover art?"
I mean, yeah, gnomes are good. I like it.
He's like, "All right, there were multiple candidates, so anyways, I can always use another opinion."
Yeah, you ain't special.
He opens it up and points. "So I've got appetizers here. Here are breakfasts, and here are mind-altering drinks. That's where that recipe is."
Can I transcribe any of it?
Are you asking that, or are you just saying, "Can you do that?"
Well, can I just look and like say, "Oh, that one looks interesting"?
This is
I
the
don't-
best demon conversation I've ever been
I don't know if it's actually.
drop onto.
Is it actually any good though?
He's like, "I think so, but I've only tried it out on so many. Although you seem to like the chocolate."
Yeah, well, I guess maybe I was pointing at something different, as it would like
Oh, okay.
basically trying to get him to give up a recipe.
Oh, okay. What section are you pointing at?
The mind-altering drinks.
Okay. So you pick something else out. Let me see. Yeah, you see something that strikes your eye, mostly because most of them have some sort of colorful names. This one just says punch, but it's in scare quotes. So you point at it, and he's like, "Oh, that's honestly more of a practical joke than anything, but I find it to be quite a hysterical one." He flips it over, and you see there are a couple fruits, maybe, whose names you don't recognize. You see the blood of a giant as one of the ingredients. And then just like sort of normal ingredients like sugar, water, stuff like that. And below it, it says a fun practical joke. Yeah, that actually, yeah, it says give this one to friends as a practical joke, or to
Okay.
enemies as a not so funny joke, or something like that. I don't know. I'm making this shit up.
So I look at him and I say, "So, you know where we are, right? In this weird house thing?
Well, I did find you.
There was supposed to be the leader of the demon army here. What was her name?
Oh,
Shit.
wait, I know this. Sorry, my brain is failing me right now. Rieta. Rieta Umvaldir.
Rieta and Boulder. She's supposed to be hiding here, and we were coming to get her. And there's some little weird ghost gnome playing games with us in the house. Do you know where she is?"
He looks at you and says, "No, but to be honest, it's given the level of magic that seems to be thrown around that house, I'm not surprised that it might not have coughed up all its secrets." He says, he looks at you and says, "I'll tell you what. Shave shave 3 months off of our deal, and I'll see if I can help you."
I say, how about instead I trade you a recipe?
He looks at you and says, "What kind of recipe?"
Um, where did I write down the new drug recipe?
The one that you got from the guy in Sigil.
Yeah, I could have swore I just wrote that down after we talked about it.
Did you get the recipe? Or just like
Yeah.
some of it?
No, I thought it was white flour. Yeah, I remember what it was. I can't remember where I put the notes on it, but I did after we talked about it the other time.
I mean, you did recently like actually go back and look at this episode.
Yeah, no, and I remember it was like a different. It was like white flour with purple spots or something like that. It was something just very
Yeah.
similar to.
That's true. At the very least, you know the main ingredient.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'm looking through my notes.
I mean, I think it should show up on your inventory, right?
Well, it's in my inventory, but like the notes on the ingredients. I mean.
Okay. Well, at the very least, you've got a few doses of it.
Yeah, I would like to offer him the recipe and the sample of that. That's maybe he could incorporate it into one of his recipes in his book.
Okay. He looks at it. All right, let me see. This is going to be a difficult check, but I want to see if he already knows of this. All right, what is what? This is going to be nature, I guess. What does a pit fiend have for nature? Yeah, all right. He looks at it and says, "Where'd you get this?"
I traded my gnome salts recipe with a guy, and what was that place that she
Sigil.
took us to? Sigil. Uh, for another special recipe.
He looks at it and says, "Interesting. It's not every day that somebody shows me something that I haven't seen before. All right, you've got a deal."
We shake on it.
All right. Short time later, you're walking. Was there anything else you were looking to get out of that? I was gonna narrate on back to the house.
No, I guess that's it.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't narrating past you. Short time later, you wander on back. You know what? Let me do this properly. Turns out he's only large. All right. Actually, let me see here. So for those of you who remain, this hasn't taken as long as Fallon and Gmork experienced it. He's so skinny. Whatever. Like, there's a bit of a time passing at different rates thing. It seems like they've been gone for maybe a minute. And then the portal opens back up. You see Fallon and Gmork walk through. And then you see the Pit Fiend walk through. And he says, "Hello, everyone. Your friend made a bit of a deal, so if it's perfectly all right, I'm going to see if I can do anything to help."
You got a demon to fight a demon.
I'm a devil. There's a difference.
He's all right once you get to know him.
Anyways, let's see here. So, have you inspected the rooms on this floor?
Mostly, yeah.
So
I don't think we've missed anything.
All right, fine. Give me a moment. Let me see here. Oh, that's interesting. He steps into this room and says, "Oh, got trapped here, did you? Still some residual magic from the spell on the room. I don't think there's anything interesting there, though." He keeps walking. Throws open this door. And he says, "Oh, good on you for surviving the llama rug."
Damn that llama rug.
Looks through here, sighs, moves on. Opens up this door. "Oh, this is slightly interesting." Steps into the room. And he says, and actually let me pull this up real quick. Oh yeah, floor 2. Okay. He says, "Actually, perhaps actually, perhaps not. Allow me to..." He's like, "I almost thought of playing a little joke. It would have been funny. You might have taken it the wrong way. Let me just say, one person in this room at a time, I would advise, if you don't want unfortunate things to happen. That being said, there's a secret compartment behind the bookshelf. I'd recommend looking there."
Nice.
He steps back out, says, I think that's about all this floor has to offer, and I imagine that should get you what you need. Good enough?"
Good enough.
Brilliant. He waves his hand, the portal appears, and he steps through it.
Be on your merry way, sir.
"Toodaloo," he shouts back.
Good journeys.
You sold your soul for the bookshelf.
Alright.
You're way up here. You're not even anywhere near us.
So the help you've gotten is there's a secret compartment behind the bookshelf, and one person at a time should probably go in.
So Fallon says, "Come on, watch the door."
Alright, you
Mark
step
watches
in.
the door.
Maxis has already pulled the bookshelf away from the wall a bit, and looking behind it, knowing what you're looking for, you see instantly what he missed. There's sort of a raised area behind the wall. You take out a knife and sort of chip away at it, and as it turns out, there is like a little metal door that's been sort of plastered and painted over. You pull it open, and behind it, you find a thin, tattered leather journal. Looks to be a diary of some kind. Inside the front cover, you see the name Cadogan P. Wheelwright.
Oh, Cadigan.
You flip through it. It's mostly uninteresting, but you do find one entry towards the back that seems very interesting. And let me actually see here real quick. Sorry, I need to think about one thing. Do-do-do. All right. And this is the entry that you read. My dreams have always been uneasy since the first day I slept in this house. I don't have nightmares. It's not that. But they've been strange, unsettling. In my dreams, I'm always climbing. Sometimes a rope, sometimes a ladder, sometimes a beanstalk, like in fairy tales. Sometimes fantasies from a sex-addled imagination. But I was always climbing upward, never leaving the ground fully behind, never reaching what I was climbing towards. And then today, I finished digging the well in the basement. I was exhausted, but I'll be damned if I'm paying an arm and a leg for help like Gritty wanted me to. I fell asleep on the spot. And this time, I had a different dream. There was a ledge on the edge of the rope, a disc of some shimmering metal like solidified quicksilver. It was barely large enough to rest comfortably on, but rest I did. And then the brightness came. I remember there was no sun in the sky, only a brightness that illuminated me and approached me. It addressed me. It said, Cadogan Wheelwright, know that your house is not to survive. I was, as you might imagine, taken aback. I froze for a long moment, then managed, Who are you? I am not, it said. But as you dream, so I speak to you. And I speak to you that your fears will come to pass. My mind flittered through dozens of possibilities. My son taken by illness or monsters, my home destroyed in some disaster, the people of the town discovering things that should not be mentioned and casting me out. And though I did not know what was to pass, somehow I did not doubt what the brightness told me. What do I do to stop it? I said, determination in my voice. You already have, said the brightness. I woke in a great chamber surrounded by sconces of blue flame. On the floor in front of me was a symbol whose meaning escapes me to this day. I was trapped, and yet I walked through one of the walls of the room, back into my basement, and escaped. Through trial and error, I discovered the secret of reaching that place. The well holds the secret. The code is 1, 1/2, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 0, 5, 1, 6, 1/2. As I was digging, my son was sick with a cold. I thought it was a minor thing, but when I returned to my family, he was entirely well. I wonder. As I was digging the town drunk, Cole Greybriar had sworn he'd see the end of me for my efforts against his misbehavior. Now, no one seems to remember Cole but me. And now, from time to time in conversation, Brittany tells me that I've misremembered something about our town, our son, our country, our life. She jokes that I'm an old soul, but it unsettles me. And yet, it seems that every day since that day has been prosperous, and every dream peaceful. That's what it says.
And I turn to Gamork and say, "Be glad you can't read." And I start making my way back. And is this door open, or can I see through this wall?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
Oh, yeah,
see.
and there's also like a hole in the wall.
So, Maxis, you remember that room where you moved the bookshelf?
You're on mute.
Muted. You're muted.
My bad. There we go. There's things going on, so. Yeah, I searched that room so well, and just there was nothing in it. It was a sad day.
I think that weird demon guy that showed up. I think he said if you and Aaron something interesting.
I couldn't have got that.
His
Who's what
comment
now?
actually kind of made sense in context.
The demon guy said that if you and Aaron go back in that room together, you might find something interesting.
I was at the corner when he said only one person should go in there. The son of a bitch.
And Fallon burst out laughing. I almost got you good. This close.
So apparently we have to dump. Oh wait, no, you haven't told me about the book yet. Never mind.
As they come on, I gotta go show Colleen this weird person's diary. Hold on.
All right. So I'm questioning why the water is still warm, but that's fine. So are we going back to the basement?
Alright, so you head back, you show Colleen the journal.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, look at this. Apparently, it's all in the whale.
There's a whale?
A whale.
Otherwise, you must be on mute too, Brave.
I told you.
I'm just glad no one's asking me about this demon guy. You guys are just moving on. It's
Yeah,
nice.
we all have our quirks. I mean, no one gave me shit about a fucking giant ass, literal giant coming and questioning me for like 20 minutes, including one night while we were in the city.
I'm pretty sure you associate with all abominations at this point.
You talking to Fallon about that, or
Yeah.
Max's?
Fallon.
I mean, he's here. So.
I was really hoping that when I got back, he was just gonna I was just gonna show up, or he was gonna disappear without saying anything, and y'all'd be like, "What the hell?" And I'd be like, "He was lost, needed direction." All right. So, read that as we walk over to this, back to the well.
Alright.
I don't. Did you ever tell us about the needing to go to a college thing? I feel like that might have. Don't you have to destroy a rune over the top of a cottage's doorway or something?
Destroy 13 somethings
yeah.
way off somewhere else
no,
in
he hasn't
another
told
part
you
of the
that.
world.
He's got a lot of those.
There's just the one. It seems impossible at this moment, but
What was the last thing? You had to do some cross-dimensional thingamajigs for the other time you sold your soul?
no, it's only the one time.
I'm pretty sure. Some cross-dimensional shit.
Well,
I mean, look at it this way. When they
I'm sure
all
Casey
come to
would tell
collect, they're going to have to fight it out, and everyone else wins.
You have like a year to live and complete this journey, I'm pretty
got
sure.
like 18 months or something like that.
Yeah. 18 months.
Yeah.
Well, it's been like a week, so we're
Yeah.
good.
You still got most of that. Alright, so you make your way back to the basement. As you pass the storeroom, Colleen, you feel a motion from inside your cloak, and then Fabrizio suddenly
Fabrizio.
flies out and flies into the storeroom. You get sort of a surge of excitement that seems to come from outside of you, and it occurs to you that Quaddles are telepaths, and maybe you're picking something up from him. Maxis, also, you feel a faint vibration. You look down and realize that the pink stone that you picked up from Gemblast Castle has begun to hum, and it's actually glowing distinctly. Colleen, you might notice that your stone is glowing as well.
Where was this, like, 30 minutes ago? I'll follow Fabrizio.
Waiting on your GM to decide that it happened. So I imagine it looks like Fallon has already gone in. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm probably just like meandering, and Fallon was in lead, so I probably followed him in here. But like, I have the rock like up to my ear, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure the rock is humming.
So as you walk into the room, you all see two figures. The first is a boy, young-looking, of uncertain race. He seems to embrace features from all the major sentient races. His eyes are bright yellow, his hair is sandy brown, and he looks beaming towards you. Stands up, he's under 5 feet tall. The second figure sits on the ground, idly scooting a pebble across the stone floor with one hand and stroking Fabrizio with the other. Her expression is one of utter calm, almost sleepiness. Her hair is straight and black and falls almost to her waist. Her eyes are a pale pink, and she wears a simple gray dress. In appearance, she is a teenage girl, albeit with the same indeterminate race as the boy. Young teenage girl, like maybe 13, 14. But her calm demeanor carries a sort of weight that makes you all suddenly serious. The boy addresses you as you enter. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. My name is Lassida, and this is my sister, Kirill. We've been with you for a while, actually, but now's the first time Kirill's been able to make the effort to help us actually meet. And he sort of scratches his head sheepishly. Actually, it's a bit early. I'm afraid I may have pushed her a bit.
Is she pushing around like a real rock?
Yep, she's just sort of scooting a pebble idly on the ground, like as if she's bored.
Fallon says, "This really isn't a place for children. I'm pretty sure."
The girl...
Dude, you just talked to a demon.
There's no railing around that well over there.
The girl sort of lazily lifts up her head, and actually, let me see here. Both of you make me charisma saving throws.
Who's both of you?
Maxis and Fallon.
Let's go!
Well, shit. Okay. Fallon, she gives you sort of a, very nonplussed sort of glare. Maxis, she looks at you, and you feel like she sees completely through you, and you feel suddenly sheepish.
Can Fallon say, "Don't look at me like that, young lady. We need to find your parents." I'm assuming I can't tell who they are, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't.
The girl, Kirill, looks over at she looks first. She turns her head slowly from Maxis to Colleen, and then says, "Your friend's one-liners are insufferable."
I'm just gonna hug her.
I think you said insufferable.
Yes.
But you cut out.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Is Maxis standing? Yeah, he's standing next to me. I lean over and say, "I'm not gonna fight a kid."
you run over and
I'm not sure whose one-liners she's talking about.
Actually, I'll
But
grab
I
both.
fully acknowledge that mine are usually very bad.
you grab both of them. You said.
Yeah, I'll grab
Okay.
them both. Really.
Okay, you do that. Lacidel leans into it and sort of, at normal force gives you a hug back. Kirill just sort of accepts it. She doesn't do anything at all, basically, in response. She just sort of lets you do whatever.
Well, this makes a lot more sense.
Wait. Lacidel looks and says, "How so?"
Well, it seems she might need a little prodding here and there.
He says, "She's the steady one, in more ways than one."
Well, I'm glad she chose Maxis then.
Lacidel laughs. I don't know that Kirill did a lot of choosing, but I think it worked out fine.
I'm glad she tolerates Maxis.
So just to be clear, Fallon doesn't know really about these things, right? The rock necklace things.
Not really.
Not other
Okay.
than
You
some
can
to
tell
talk.
that Colleen is obviously very excited about it.
Yeah. I'm just making sure that I'm playing it right with my obliviousness.
The only thing about it is that the girl does exude this sort of presence that you can't quite put your finger on, but it almost feels like she's what?
Yeah, but I'd like to think that Fallon exudes a presence as well.
Yeah, you might. But you would all the so I'm not saying that your response is not appropriate. What I am saying though is that she exudes the same sort of presence that the way that a person might behave around their pet guinea pig, right? It's not like you don't acknowledge them or anything like that, but you are a, more substantial thing than they are. Just like as a matter of fact, not as any sort of prideful thing. Do you know what I mean by that?
So who's the guinea pig in this
You
scenario?
are.
Okay. That's what I was trying to confirm. All right.
Yep. So again,
So
not like she's disparaging you or looking down on you or anything like that. She just sort of has this serious presence about her, and it sort of feels like she somehow feels more substantial than the rest of you.
Can Fallon go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
You go ahead. Go.
I'm like gonna stage whisper, I guess, to Fallon, because this being quiet and also abashed is just not something that he has ever done before.
Right.
So he's just like, I feel like the time that I threw Captain Redthorn's helmsman off of the ship, and he was really mad and threatened to lash me. Legit. She seems real salty about a lot of stuff, and I don't really know what to do about it.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, there's 2 kids here now, where there weren't 2 kids before.
Oh, this probably is this the life stone thing, Colleen? I'm assuming I've talked to you about the life stones before.
The girl looks over at you, Maxis, and says, "Yes, my name is Kirill. I am associated with the creation stone that you carry around your neck, Maxis." She looks over at you, Fallon, and says, "My brother and I, and there is one more of us, are items of power. Colleen has carried one for a while. Maxis has carried one since the Ice Palace." And at this point, you might remember that these are actually some of the objects that you were tasked by Innis with gathering. So similar to how you're supposed to gather all of the
Dragon spirits and
the vestiges.
Alkadir items. Yeah.
Yep. The 3 creation stones are of that sort. And so she's saying that she is basically the spirit in one of them.
So how are you all? Like, I don't. This is obviously my first time seeing Lacidel, but is it? Are you normally able to like project yourself to everyone, or just your wearer?
At this, Lacidel pipes up and he says, "Right, I can explain that. So basically, what? There is body, soul, and spirit. I am the soul stone, and Kuro is the body stone. So now that she's here, she can manifest us for you."
I mean, it makes a lot of sense that she worked with my grandfather then, but
He tips his head. Your grandfather.
not literal grandfather, probably the
great.
cliff breaker. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, this is awkward. This is just getting weird. What's the name of the third one?
She pauses for a moment and then says, "Cenarian."
Oh, that's a cool name.
And what?
That's a cool name.
What stone was that one? The
Soul
Mind Stone?
He is
I thought
the
Lacidel was the
spirit
stone.
stone.
Oh, okay.
Lacidel, do you know? Lacidel shakes his head and she says, "I can sense him faintly. He's distant. But I can feel his presence, muted as though beneath water or mud." And then she thinks for a moment and then says, "Maxis, you said something about the Cliffbreaker. I don't remember it properly, but some of this is coming back to me. Do you have..." She thinks for a moment. "The last time I knew of my brother, I was with him. The last time I felt him strongly. Do you have anything else from the Cliffbreaker? Any memoirs or journals or writings or anything of the sort?"
I do have I have his journal.
She
And
says,
I'll
"Can I
pull
see
it
it?"
out, I guess. Sure.
You hand her the journal.
Hand it to her.
She flips through it rapidly, and she then points to... You don't happen to have that handy, do you? I gave you all the entries a while back.
Yeah. Maybe.
She's speed reading.
Let's say
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember if that was on Slack, which I can't get to anymore.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'm finding the relevant section of it right now, so I'll just copy the paragraph for now, and if you want the whole thing later, I can give it to you. Here we go. She finds a section from the entry on the founding of Siren, and yeah, so like she was literally just like flipping pages as fast as she possibly could. It did like settle on the page for a moment, but then she would instantly move on. So here is the bit that she points to. And she says, "Didn't you find this a bit odd?"
Well, I mean, at the time, no. But as Fowlin has literally just pointed out, I am not always the most observant person. Because apparently I also missed a door in a wall. So... Nah.
Right. And with that, she sort of sighs, and she had sort of perked up for a moment, and she goes back to her sort of sleepy demeanor. And she says, "Well, it's neither here nor there, but it's worth checking out."
Also, I'm a slow reader and haven't finished reading.
Says, "Anyways," and she looks back at you, clean, and keeps absently sort of petting Fabrizio, and says, "This one, I've been talking to him. He doesn't yet fully understand your speech, but he's learning very quickly. And honestly, the fact that he's not talking to you yet just shows he's a perfectionist. All the same, a few things. First, he thinks the name you gave him is silly, but he likes it all the same.
Good.
By the way, this entire time that she's talking, she's not meeting your eyes at all. It's normal that people don't really look you in the eye very much as they talk, but she's not meeting your eyes at all as she speaks. She's sort of looking down. She says, second, though, do you know what a quaddle is? It's the heir to a divine mandate. They fulfill their mandate to some degree by strength, but even more so by wisdom. This one bears the will of Innis to protect objects of great power. Although he may not yet feel up to the task, please keep him well. I believe the time is coming when he will surpass the service of his ancestors.
Well, I plan to take very good care of him.
She
This sort of lives in my cloak.
she gives the quaddle a pat, and it almost looks like she wants to smile, but or at least you think a smile would be appropriate, but you don't see one. But then Fabrizio actually, there's a little glimmer where he's at, and he very quickly shapeshifts into the form of a raven and flutters up to perch on your shoulder.
That's vaguely new.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
Quaddles are shapeshifters, turns out. And then Kirill lifts her head again, as if to look you in the eyes, Colleen, but she sort of looks past you, a little down into the side. She says, Colleen, I have a question for you. My brother tells me that you seek the magic of resurrection, that which is normally reserved for the gods. Is that true?
Yes, that is my life's ambition.
Why do you want it? What would you use it for?
To be able to
Go ahead, sorry.
turn magic and create and revitalize and do all these things that were never possible for other people, and just fully understand the use of that magic, develop a something of my own.
Give me an insight check with disadvantage.
I'm really good at insight with a -1. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
She says, well, she sort of tips her head. She stands up. Long bangs fall across her face, actually masking her eyes. And then her mouth does bend into a smile, but it's unsettling, almost sadistic looking. And she says, fine then. The power lies dormant in you after all. And at this point, Lacidel starts to look visibly concerned. She says, it's not what you think it is, but it's there all the same. You can have it, if you're worthy of it. Kirill stretches out her arm in a clenched fist. An alarmed look, like the alarm on Lacidel's face, intensifies, and he tenses. He scoots back a bit. Fabrizio sort of flutters a bit on your shoulder. And then, for the first time, Kirill meets your eyes. A glint of intense pink shines from behind her bangs, and Maxis, you feel the stones suddenly go cold against your chest. Kirill opens her hand, and Colleen's body slumps to the ground, and Kirill disappears.
Oh boy.
Say, I will check her pulse and be like, What the hell, Lassidle?
He looks at you and says, I think it's okay. Give it a moment. You do check the pulse. There is no pulse. And with this-
Yeah, looks great, man.
I just say, fucking, this stone has never been cold before. It is cold now. I'm assuming your sister just went into Colleen. I am mildly concerned.
I don't think it's that, but she did use magic. We're going to jump to Colleen. Colleen, you feel a sense of disconnection, as if your body was merely a tool that had suddenly been snatched from you. Then, you find yourself staring down at your motionless body. You look fine, other than being totally lifeless.
Oh dear.
I severed all the nerves leading from your brain to your body, said Curel. Not sure it'd have worked on anyone but you. Maxis maybe. Not that it matters now. Now, and she gives you that same sort of creepy smile. School's in session.
Well, this is different.
She says, remember that mishap with Puka? How you thought you had latent resurrection magic? Well, that's not quite what it is. It's more fundamental than that. She says, Colleen, you have the ability to reverse the course of nature, to reverse time's arrow. Everything decays. Living things can only exist because of the energy from the sun many miles away. When that star dies, you will inevitably die as well. Except that you, Colleen, can decide that things should work differently. This power is not without risk. You can't get something from nothing after all. And you borrow your power from other possible realities. That's not something to do lightly. The other reality might not appreciate it. And well, you might borrow the wrong thing. I'd advise you not do it willy-nilly. She steps back.
I don't think I'm one for willy-nilly.
She says, you throw yourselves into things wholeheartedly, Colleen, but perhaps a bit of circumspection. Look at your body. You're going to try to resurrect yourself.
Oh. Does that mean I'll be undead? Well, yes and no.
She
Right?
says, not if you do a good job of it.
Oh. Okay. Let's do it then.
Very well. Now, it doesn't really do much good for me to try to coach you. So just imagine what it feels like and give it a shot. And while you're doing it, I'm going to ask you some questions.
What
Because,
does it
Colleen,
feel like to come back to life?
Sobriety test.
there are some things that merit reflection that might help you to use this power more responsibly. Why, do you think, do some forbid certain magics? Is not power merely power, usable for good ends or bad?
Well, that is true, and I believe that line of thinking is born of fear, and we should not fear knowledge or power, but it should be used responsibly.
Roll 1d100 plus intelligence plus wisdom.
Oh boy.
Hey, I'd have a +2 in my mental stats if I did that.
So you want like +5 -1 on a D100?
Yes.
Okay, not like +20.
Yeah, no, so it's going to be 1d100 plus 4, I guess.
Alrighty. 8.
Brilliant.
Just...
Hey, those are my lucky numbers, okay?
I mean, hey, if we're playing Call of Cthulhu, you might be in good shape.
You know what? Roll it one more time.
I failed you, Casey.
No. I had a mechanic here that dictates the number of times you rolled, and honestly, I should have had you roll twice from the beginning, not once. Okay. She looks at you and says, "That is not a bad answer, but I would advise you, Colleen, to consider the limitations of your own knowledge when making such decisions."
Isn't that why we pursue knowledge?
Knowledge is never complete, Colleen. And there are some areas where experience has taught that mortals are likely to overestimate the reach of their knowledge. Hence the forbidden. Hence the things that are better off avoided, since, in many cases, the danger of misjudgment far exceeds the power to be gained. You are right that many shut themselves off from the benefits of what they call forbidden magics. You are right that these things are not intrinsically evil, but they are dangerous, and that should be considered.
I do not fear the danger if it can bring about a greater good or change.
I'm not saying to fear the danger, Colleen. I'm merely advising circumspection. But that is perhaps a thing to think on. Let us move on. Second question. Is there value in all life? Is the value of all life equal? When do you think are you justified to take one life for the sake of another?
I believe all life has purpose, and it should all be protected, but it is cyclical, and it is given and taken. There will be balance. I don't know if everything that we do is fair or right or just, but I must continue to carve my own path in this. Sometimes I have to do and experience things that might not be pleasant, but I will protect what's important to me and the people that I care about.
That is a good answer. Make that roll 3 times.
104. You saw it.
Oh, shit. All right. As you sort of continue to be focusing on this nebulously defined, I'm supposed to be resurrecting myself, you suddenly sense a feeling of connection. And you have this timeless moment where you feel like you're standing outside the entire web of causality. Those are the words you put to it. It's really an indescribable feeling. It's nothing like you've ever felt in your life, but it's almost as if the world was a book that you were reading and you had the ability to turn it to any page you wanted and rewrite any word that you wanted.
It's the Full Metal Alchemist Gate of Truth. That's what's happening.
A little bit. And then Kirill's voice cuts in. And lastly, Colleen, does there exist anyone whose commands or guidance you would trust above your own judgment, even if they would not explain themselves to you, or could not?
Well, I trust Lacidel.
Damn it. No one heard the Gamork joke.
Oh, well.
Gamork's the real MVP, but...
She looks at you and smiles and says, "He's a good-natured sort." Make the roll 2 times more. You've rolled 100 again.
Hey.
All right. Um,
I'm
and
good at rolling for loot, I guess.
as Curl continues to look at you, finally, for the first time since you met her, she seems to relent a little bit. Like, she's had basically two aspects, if you will, mainly. She got a little bit excited when she was glancing through the journal that Max has handed her. But mostly she's either been sort of sleepy or kind of like intense and sort of sadistic. Um, Now she relaxes a bit and sort of smiles and says, "See, you have the hang of it." And then you sit up and realize that there is a concerned looking Maxis sort of inspecting you,
Holy
um,
shit.
and Fowlin sort of giving Lacidel a hard time.
And Gamork licks you on the face.
Oh,
Aw.
and I need to give you a thing because you
So does the
now
Raven.
have
And
access
Raven's lick.
to your 3rd level super special awesome ability. So, let me see here. Oh, have I
Really?
I've never DM'd you before.
I can't believe we've never DM'd.
See if this works. Oh.
Hadoop.
Pretty salty that my Wayne's World GIF didn't actually translate as a GIF. It's just a picture.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to break it up in 2 messages because it's too long.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, this thing's intense. I had to like invent a lot of new rules in order for this to even be a thing. So.
I love you.
So there you go. That was the result of me tapping at my computer for 2 hours last weekend. All right. So, yeah, you all wake up. Kirill sort of looks around and says, "Well, that handles that." And she sort of claps off her hands. And then she immediately sort of settles down, yawns, says, "Ugh."
Wow. I guess Casey plans on killing us.
Huh. Um,
I love it. I'm only halfway through it, but I love it.
Kirill sort of looks around at the rest of you and finally sort of looks up wearily towards Lacidel, who says, um, "We don't know what you're about to walk into, but we do have a bit of a bad feeling. There's not much we can do to help you, but yet," he says, he says, "Here, we found these in the storeroom," and he actually flips towards all of you what appears to be like a sweet roll, like a cinnamon roll kind of thing. He hands you all.
Such a long rest and a bun.
Well, you can eat it and find out.
Found sweet a roll. And takes a bite.
There's no chance that this is not already like devoured and in.
Fallon with a mouthful. These kids are all right.
So here's.
I mean, they also kind of might have murdered Colleen a little bit, but she's fine now. It's hard.
So everybody may recover a single spell slot or ability that you would normally only recover on a long rest.
Oh my god. That's so tough.
Get Oon Rage.
How do you spell Kiro?
Kyurrril.
I should have wrote that down.
She's the source of my power.
And actually, let me go ahead and message Saxon about this.
And you're calling that reversibility?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what starting that had anything to do with it. Neat.
Fair enough. So we are about to probably go through some kind of portal into possibly another plane. Are you guys going to be able to do that, or are you guys going back to sleep?
Lacidel looks down at Curil, who you notice now has actually gone to sleep on the ground. And you can see, and actually as you look more closely, you see that Lacidel is starting to go translucent. And he says, actually, I don't think we have a whole lot more time left.
Fair enough.
We can do a lot, but what? I don't know. We weren't meant to be active, alive, conscious, if you will, for many, many years. We're still waking up, if you will, and these kind of efforts are about as much as we can do.
Fair enough.
He smiles.
So do I need to, like, get her a pillow? Or is she just gonna go back into the jewel? Like, I have a bedroll, maybe?
He looks down and says, if you can't tell, she's kind of the independent kind. I think she'll be okay.
Alright.
And he's pretty visibly transparent at this point. And he says, well, anyways, I must be going. It's a pleasure finally meeting you all.
Toodles.
Last.
And they disappear.
Both of them?
Mhm.
Alright. Well,
Well, I think I died,
no, you definitely did die.
and now I'm not.
That's unconfirmed.
See, I just have a bucket list of killing every one of you at some point. So no, all right.
But I'm not like them. So I
Does
I guess
Colleen
we'll
look?
find out if you decaying.
Does she look lichy? Because
She
this
looks-
is some lich.
Give me perception
All right.
and give me insight. Give me both.
Give me fuel.
Visibly, she looks pretty normal. Slightly pale, but that makes sense given what just happened. Actually, more than slightly pale, but she's recovering as you watch. In terms of, she definitely does seem, like she's sort of internally coming to grips with something right now, so she's a little bit distant.
just died and resurrected myself in the middle of a shambling zombie.
You choose where you stand. You can't blame us for that. Also, are you really in the middle? I mean, the gnome is not exactly blocking much off.
Hey, he's a barbarian. Don't you talk bad
It's also a
about
goblin.
Oh, goblin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This one? I thought that was our weird little thing.
Oh, no. That dude was always an illusion.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So, once more into the well?
I think we have to figure it out first.
What are we doing again?
Say, I thought we were putting buckets of water into the thing in
Well,
a
if you-
certain
if you-
pattern.
If you read the thingamabob, The journal kind of says that there's a secret room or something. Do the code with the well.
I'm a little overwhelmed right now, and I'm not sure how to process everything. Um, what does this mean? I'm not sure.
What does what mean?
This note, this book you had me look at. What are we doing with this?
I think there's some
We-
sort of secret room or something.
But where do we get these measurements?
Aaronin says, I don't know, let's just go in the room and try and figure it out. Because he would charge ahead. That's the mode he's in right now. And Fallon, as you step in, you remember distinctly that Colleen threw one of the buckets in the well, but you look over on the wall and it's back.
Holy shit. We have infinite buckets. We're rich.
That's a wonderful conclusion from what I just said.
Yeah, but does the bucket you sell like disappear? Right.
Well, that's not my problem.
Well, it is if your customers catch on.
Meh.
So
This Goliath brand bucket disappears every time I buy it.
I forgot that I put that on my name.
all right, so I will let you know you have everything you need. If you would like a hint, you can give me an intelligence check.
Sure.
That's the best roll I've made today. Once again, we're lucky we haven't fought anything, because I just have died by now.
Okay. Colleen, you're still trying to sort of bring yourself back to reality right now. It occurs to you to suggest that this string of numbers from the journal is probably a code of some kind, although you sort of leave off there. Maxis, you look at the numbers, you look at the buckets, and like a thunderbolt, it hits you that it means something along the lines of this. So it's listing off, probably left to right, that's the normal way of doing it, the number of the bucket, and then maybe...
Oh, I just can't read. I didn't know there were periods or commas.
Oh, yeah, those are commas. So then it's 4, 0, 5, 1,
So
6, 1/2.
So let's fill them up. I put bucket 1 in and fill it halfway, starting at the left.
Okay. So Colleen, you start filling buckets.
Fallon fills up bucket 6 all the way.
The rest of you sort of catch on. Fallon fills up bucket 6 all the way, so now you wind up with bucket 1 half filled, 2, 3, 5, and 6 completely filled.
Fallon says, "Well, that didn't work."
Well, the math must be wrong somewhere. This has to be.
So wait.
I rolled a 2.
I know I didn't mess up my bucket.
You know what? Aaronin gets frustrated and kicks over the 6th bucket And as water starts to drain out of it, for just a moment, out of the corner of your eye, Colleen, you catch sort of a glimmer on this wall, and then it disappears, and bucket 6 drains completely empty.
I take a look at the notes again and see what bucket 6 is supposed to be, and then fill it appropriately.
Okay. You fill the bucket to half, and at this point, the far wall sort of goes translucent looking. You can't see through it, but it has the look of like Colleen, you know this look before. It's like when you realize what an illusion really is, you can sort of see through it a bit. So you still see the wall, you still can't see through the wall, but that's kind of what's going on here.
Go!
You realize this entire wall here is illusory.
I choose this part.
Okay. And as you step through the wall, and this is actually where we're going to end the session, so
Something terrible happened.
I will allow you to sort of position yourselves for
Do we roll initiative?
Something really terrible happened.
the start of the session. You step through the illusory wall. The room is wrapped in sculpted stone basins holding blue flames. The walls are carved in a pattern of hypnotizing swirls. At the far end of the room, you see a female hobgoblin sitting on the ground, a book spread in front of her, her arms frozen in the midst of some sort of ritual. Not moving, completely stationary. There are 2 young children, a young boy and a slightly older girl, who are bound on the ground a short distance from her. Above and around them all is above and around the hobgoblin, boy, and the girl, is a dome of yellow haze, which gives off an oddly solid feeling. All this is background, however. In front of you stands a massive demon, the most intimidating you've yet seen, a crackling longsword in one hand and a fiery whip in the other. 2 hobgoblins stand in front of him, trembling slightly, but steady themselves and turn to face you as you enter. The demon looks at you and snorts, fire flaring from its nose and in an aura all around it. And for a long moment, you stand regarding each other. And that is where we're going to end it.
What if I told you that I use counterspell?
Then I will tell you that's the end of the session. We'll see what happens next week.
Say it. What if I told you I pointed at the large demon and go, dibs? All right.
See y'all
I like
next week. And